President Trump may get his wish of having the GOP tax plan on his desk by Christmas. After weeks of back and forth and a few last-minute negotiations, Republicans unveiled their bill Friday evening. But lawmakers will have to put a hold on their holiday shopping as they plan to work through the weekend poring over the plan. Joining me now is Caitlin Huey-Burns. She is a CBSN political contributor and reporter for Real Clear Politics. Caitlin, thanks so much for being with us.
Hi, thanks.
So Senator Rubio is on board. Senator Corker is on board. Does it look like this is going to happen before Christmas?
It does look like it's going to happen. It looks like they have the votes on the Senate side, which is a pretty big deal considering these last-minute negotiations going on. Remember, Senator Rubio was a holdout. He wanted more money for the refundable child tax credit. He got a slight increase, and so he's going to take it. Corker, on the other hand, is kind of a surprise yes. A lot of us were expecting him to vote no, exactly how he voted on the first version. He said today that he's going to vote for it too, and it's not clear what really changed.
I was going to say, do we know what's behind his change of mind here?
To me, it seems political at this point. Remember, he was against it in the first place because he said it added too much to the deficit. This doesn't change any of that, this version. So maybe he's thinking that, voting against something like this, which is really many have described as a once-in-a-generation kind of tax proposal. Voting against that might not be good for him if he has any ambitions beyond the Senate.
Right. Now, of course, we know sadly that two GOP senators, McCain and Corker, are both facing health issues.
Right.
Does it look like they will be able to vote on this tax plan at this point?
Well, that's certainly the hope that Republican lawmakers have, and they've been talking optimistically about getting them. We know that the House is going to take this up first, so that gives them a little bit more time. We're expecting a vote perhaps on Tuesday from the House side. On the Senate side, though, even though they have the votes secured, actually having them on the floor is another matter entirely. So this throws a last-minute wrench into the system, and it also just speaks to how narrow the margin is going to be on this bill. And they have the momentum now. They need to go with it, and they also are up against another deadline facing them next year when they will be down one Republican senator after that Alabama race this week.
It's tight for sure. It's tight for sure. Switching gears now, President Trump has sort of hinted on Friday that perhaps he would pardon Michael Flynn, but hasn't said for sure.
Right.
What are you hearing?
Right. His comments today said not yet, and he was asked about it. He didn't necessarily bring it up, but he does like to talk, on the South Lawn before he departs. Usually he likes to engage with the press. There are lots of questions about how he is feeling about this Russia probe now that now that the special counsel has Mike Flynn in cooperation. You're also hearing from a lot of supporters of the president in the form of some lawmakers, some kind of on the outside of the political system, kind of talking about the Mueller investigation as a witch hunt, as a hoax and that sort of thing, trying to undermine the credibility. And that raises the question of kind of what are they getting at here? Why are they doing that?
Doesn't it seem, though, that pardoning Michael Flynn might be a step too far, that it might create some sort of political fallout that's just too large for the president?
Sure. I think it would create a monumental political pushback, not only from Democrats, of course, but also from a lot of Republicans who kind of just want, some of the more mainstream Republicans who just want this to play out itself and have the president just focused on the domestic agenda at this point. It also raises the question of, why, and also the complications of it, because Michael Flynn is talking to Robert Mueller at this time, is cooperating, and is in continued conversations with him.
Now, the president also slammed the FBI on Friday before visiting its academy. We have some sound. Let's take a listen.
Rebuild the FBI, it'll be bigger and better than ever. But it is very sad when you look at those documents, and how they've done that is really, really disgraceful. And you have a lot of very angry people that are seeing it. It's a very sad thing to watch.
I am here not only to congratulate you, but to honor you for your courage and for your devotion. And I want you to know that with me as your president, America's police will have a true friend and loyal champion in the White House, more loyal than anyone else can be.
So there's a lot to break down here, but how does undermining the FBI serve the president?
Right. Well, the president is kind of trying to have it both ways here. Remember, he ran as kind of a law and order candidate. You saw him in that last clip praising a group of graduates from the FBI Academy who were more local law enforcement, while also, he has questioned the credibility of the FBI, which has raised a lot of alarm bells. And he says that he's referring to, former Director James Comey, and he's also referring to those text messages that have been revealed from that FBI agent who was kicked off the Mueller probe for text messages that had some, not nice things to say about the political situation. And so this is, again, raising questions about what his next moves might be, but again, trying to kind of play both sides of it.
Does it seem, though, that his opinion about the FBI is shared by other GOP lawmakers or a large group of them?
Not really. You have had a lot, at every iteration of this, you have had lawmakers come forth and say, look, we do not need to be questioning this institution at this time. These are public servants, long-time public servants. The current FBI director, the new FBI director, Wray, was asked about this during his confirmation hearing, or during a recent hearing. And he said the integrity should not be questioned. He has full faith and confidence in the institution. And so you do see that contrast, which is pretty startling.
Absolutely. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much.
Thank you
for being with us.